Perhaps you've noticed that most of these things are slanted toward retail clerks. At least an awful lot of them are kind of slanted toward clerks. And that's because, you see, I have this kind of attitude toward retail clerks. I feel that clerks need a little help. And by God, I'm here to provide that help. You know what I mean? I think clerks are just a little bit... like they got a little neutral zone, you know? Some of them seem to be on loan from Mars. That's if you can find a clerk at all. Sometimes they're not even there, you know. They're on their break. Or sometimes they're there, but they can't wait on you because they're on someone else's break who they switched with. Well, that pisses me off. I'm awfully sorry. I can't wait on you. I'm on Steve's break. Oh. Well, fuck you. And fuck Steve, too. Be sure to mention that to Steve when he comes back. So I try to help these folks. What I try to do for a clerk is break his spirit. I try to set a clerk back in his emotional development by 15 to 20 years. Reduce a clerk to a pile of facial tics. And in order to do this, I go to the department store, because that's where they have the most clerks. That's clerk heaven. The department store. Mostly women clerks, by the way. Women wait on you in department stores. Men don't do that in department stores. Men come around every hour to see if the women have quit. That's the men's job. You quit? Nope. Okay, I'll be back in an hour. And he's gone off, fucking off with Steve somewhere. And she's there waiting on customers, because none of them have come in yet. That's why they call it waiting on customers. Women, they say, God damn, I've been here an hour and a half and I ain't seen customer one. And then finally when they come in, they have to wait on them all over again. And you know, I believe there's some sort of slavery involved in these women's employment. Have you noticed that women who wait on you in department stores always have eyeglasses that are on chains? Heavy chains that go down into the blouse and disappear and go God knows where. I think there's a master chain reel on the roof, and at 5 o'clock they reel everybody in. Okay, girls, Miller time! Well, it's just a theory of mine. Perhaps it's not true. We better not act on it until we have more data. But I do like to go to the department store and harass the female clerks, and I go usually to the handkerchief lady. That's my favorite clerk fun of all. The handkerchief lady. Usually it's an older woman. Have you noticed? Mostly older women sell handkerchiefs. That's because hankies are easy to lift. I figured that shit out alone one afternoon while it was raining. And I proved it to myself because you never see any blue-haired women in the barbell section, do you? Goddamn logic came to my aid once again. So I go right up to the handkerchief lady. Sometimes I'll sashay, you know, if I'm feeling cool. If I'm feeling cool, I'll sashay. That's how I sashay. Sometimes I'll bop, you know. This is how I bop. Not very cool, but it is sincere bopping. Well, I do whatever's playing on the stereo section when I come off the escalator, whatever they're featuring that week. That's what I do as I go up there. One time, I polka'd up to the goddamn lady. Well, she liked to shit, but she waited on me anyway. And I go right up, and don't forget what we're trying to do for this woman. We're trying to reduce her to a pile of protoplasm. I go up to that woman and I say, pardon me, ma'am, do you have any monogrammed handkerchiefs? She'll say, yes, what initial would you like? I don't know, I hadn't even thought about it. Tell me, what do you got here? What's for sale? Well, that's, I see. Well, Give me an assortment, why don't you? Let me have an L, 2 R's, an O, 3 N's, a J, a couple of Y's, a D, a lowercase v, and a capital X. Say, by the way, you don't happen to have any semicolons, do you? Well, I've always wanted to blow my nose directly into a semicolon. They'll be leading this woman off to the employees' lounge long before her scheduled break. Come on, Emma. Emma is one of those names that no one under 80 has. you notice that? There are no infant Emmas. Emma is an acquired name. One day you're sitting on the porch, and suddenly you're Emma.
Guacamole. You know anything with that kind of guacamole? Guacamole doesn't even sound like food. Guacamole sounds like something you wear to a carnival, you know? Lend me your guacamole tonight, would you? Guacamole sounds like a child's game or a thing you drive around the house. Take the batteries out of that guacamole. Or guacamole's a thing you don't know the name of. Try to put the jigger in the old guacamole there. Guacamole isn't to eat guacamole. Guacamole, it sounds sillier the more I say it. I'm never going to have that ever. Guacamole, fuck it. Guacamole. I don't want that. I don't like it. It doesn't sound good.
Let's remind ourselves that you might not be driving on some particular day. Maybe your car's in the shop. Maybe you had an accident. Maybe you ate a whole box of Total and went out and wrecked your car. This is happening more and more all across our great land. It's called the power of suggestion at breakfast time. And you might be hitchhiking. Yes, you know, there are still some people who hitchhike. Most of them are dead. But there are still about 9 of them out there trying to find a serial killer. Which has nothing to do with the box of Total. That's just a coincidence. But hitchhikers can have a little fun keeping people alert too, but of course they have to get a ride first. Someone has to come along and stop. Guy stops, lowers the window, says, "Where are you going?" Say, "Hey, thanks for stopping. I don't actually need a ride today. But if you'll give me your phone number, I'll be glad to give you a call whenever I do. And it'll save you the trouble of driving all over town looking for me. By the way, you'll want to step back very quickly. He'll be leaving in a big hurry. No sense sacrificing a nice set of toes for the sake of a practical joke." Here's an alternative for the hitchhiker. Don't say anything at first. Jump right into the passenger seat. Jump right in the car. Guy says, "Where are you going?" Say, "I don't give a shit. Let's just ride around. I'm off till Wednesday." He'll be leaving in a big hurry too. But at least you'll be in the car. Somehow, Pope Corky I doesn't command a lot of authority. Now, would somebody just put a dick in that guy's mouth, please? Because that's what he wants. He's a cocksucker in disguise. He's got his mouth open because he wants someone to come in it. Now, do you want to keep making noise, motherfucker, and we can find you that way? Or are you just a punk, coward, asshole, bullshit, loud motherfucker, and you're going to shut up now so we don't find out where the fuck you're sitting? Because if you keep it up, we'll grab your ass and throw you on the fucking street where you belong with your mother. And I'm fucking her in the asshole every night anyway. So fuck you and your sister and your wife. If you got a kid, I hope your fucking kid dies in a car fire. How do you like that, you stupid cocksucker? Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here. You know, see, you gotta use psychology. You gotta be a bit of a psychologist up here and know how to appeal to a person. Do you realize that Hitler only had one ball? A lot of people aren't aware of that. Hitler only had one ball. Well, actually, it was an undescended testicle, but what you see is what you got. Hitler only had one ball. People didn't know it at the time. People kept saying things like, "Jesus, that Hitler, he must have a lot of balls, you know?" No, one. He started all that shit on one ball. The British Army knew about it. British Army had a song for him. "Hitler has only got one ball. Goering has 2, but they are small. Himmler has something similar, but poor old Goebbels has no balls at all." So, thank you. Well, so it's music you want. Well, by God, it's music you'll get then. I'm a musical fella, and I like my music, and I like historical things about music, like that little Hitler anecdote. Things that are from musical history. Do you realize that the Mexican hat dance was written by 2 people? Nobody knows that. 2 guys wrote the Mexican hat dance. The first guy wrote da-dan, 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 and the second guy wrote da-dan, da-dan, da-dan. Think about it now. If it hadn't been for that second guy, the Mexican hat dance would have gone. Ta-dun, 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 ta-dun. I would have turned the fucking thing off after about 18 minutes, to tell you the truth. They were so happy with what they did, they went out to celebrate. And they met another guy, and he went... This is the kind of shit history is made of. Musical history. You know why I do these things? Because I'm a musical guy. Besides being a balloon fellow, I'm also a musical guy. I love music. I'm musical. See, I use that adjective for myself. I'm musical. I'm not musically talented. That's different. That's a distinction that's made. It's a distinction that's made usually by people who are musically talented. You've heard them. They'll say, is he talented? They'll say, oh, no. He's musical. That's me. I'm musical. It means if you hit me in the head with a pipe, I make a noise. And I'm like most people. I've written a few songs in my life. You know, I think a lot of people who are musical, you write a song, you might be lovesick or something, you write a little poem and you have a tune for it and you put it away and you don't show anybody. But I've written a few things. I wrote, if I give my heart to you, will you give me a receipt? I got you out of my heart, but I can't get you out of my apartment. Every time I sleep with you, I realize you're tall. What else? Well, I'll think of them, lots of them. I wrote one love song you might have heard of. Here's one you might have heard of even. Kiss Me, I'm Coming. Do you remember that? Kiss me, I'm coming. Ah! And it goes on like that for about 8 minutes, hopefully. Yeah. I wrote another one. I wrote, Nobody Knows How I Feel, so I keep it to myself. That's kind of nice, too. Also, I wrote a love song for fish. Can you imagine? I did. I wrote a love song for fish. Somebody had to. Mrs. Paul didn't give a shit. Swimming around nude in a tank full of fish sticks? I don't care for that lady. I wrote a nice love song for fish. It's called Lay Some Eggs in the Sand and I'll Squirt Some Jelly-like Substance on Them. Well, I found fish are very direct in their communications. Also, they'll dance to just about anything. I wrote a country song. I heard your reaction to the country question earlier. I wrote a country song. It's called Drinking Beer, Taking a Shit, and Passing Out. But you got to really be a country fan to like it. Also, you ain't been right to me, so I'm going to womp the piss out of you, but for some reason they won't play it on the FM stations. Oh, I'll get to the words. I got a longer list than 7 by now, believe me. We'll get to that. That's at the end. Yeah. Something else, though, about some songs. This is my little musical break, and I kind of indulge myself, so you have to kind of go along with it. Instead of taking a real break and going out and lying down, I sort of just talk a little about music. I do folk music, too. I do folk songs. Not hardcore folk music, but I do sort of a crossover folk, kind of a pop folk, sort of a country pop folk, reggae, classical folk. Classical music is what folk, sort of a boogie folk, you know what I mean? It's a nice kind of folk. I do one. Here's one that everybody loves. If I were a carpenter and you were a lady and I hit you with a hammer, would you think I was crazy? Broadway show, someone yelled, hey, George, how about a Broadway show tune? By God, I do them as well. Broadway show, here's one that everybody loves, especially you. Away out here, we've got a name for rain and wind and fire. We call one rain, we call one wind, and we call the other fire. Well, it seemed like the way to handle things, one name for each phenomenon. Sometimes I do this, but not tonight, I hope. Okay. Certainly. What else? Wait a minute, I got a couple more songs before I get this out of my system. You know what pisses me off in music? No one can tell me the rest of the words to Ta-ra-ra-boom-de-ay. Doesn't this make you mad? Everyone knows the beginning of the goddamn song. Everybody, in fact, people get cocky about the beginning. They go ta-ra-ra-boom-de-ay. Nobody knows the rest of it. One guy told me it's ta-ra-ra-boom-de-ay. Did you get yours today? I got mine yesterday. That's why I walk this way. I don't think that's it. Another march they never taught me the ending to. Oh, the monkey wrapped his tail around the flagpole to see his asshole. Dun-da-da. And they leave you hanging there, just like the goddamn monkey. Well, now that I got you in this martial mood, I always think of sports when I think about marches. I was in the band in high school, Cardinal Hayes Band. found out, yes, I played third trumpet. Third trumpet is the kind of thing where if you play it, you wouldn't recognize the goddamn song. I played third trumpet, and I found out very early in my high school marching band career that it is impossible to play the trumpet, read music, and march intelligently at the same time. So I said, fuck the first two, I'm going to march intelligently. Because people can see that from a distance. They can't tell if you're fucking up the music. They can, by God, see if you're going like this. So I marched like oh man, I marched good, but I wasn't playing shit, just going like that. That's the way you keep alive in the world. You have to make choices. Well, there's only one more little part to this, one little last chapter, and you might lose something else, folks. You might lose your place. That happens a lot, doesn't it? Losing your place doesn't sound important, doesn't seem important, losing one's place. And it might not be important. Maybe you just lost your place reading. That happens all the time. You're reading something very interesting. You have a very interesting magazine, several interesting articles, how to make 2 little hats out of an old brassiere, songs to yodel on the toilet, tips on getting laid, how to lease out the space inside your nose. And while you're reading, an explosion goes off about 300 feet behind you and a little to your left. Oh my God. An explosion has gone off about 300 feet behind me and a little to my left. And I've lost my place. Well, I'll simply have to find it again, won't I? Yes, it's in here somewhere. I'll know it when I see it. After all, it is my place. I certainly hope I don't find someone else's place. That would present me with a moral dilemma. Well, that isn't very important, is it, losing your place reading? But you know an important way to lose your place? Online, standing in line, losing your place in line. Don't do that, because that place represents territory that you've gained that must be held at all costs. That's your place. You know it's your place because it moves up as you move up, doesn't it? You don't have to stop and move it. It moves right along. If you step back to let someone through, it steps back with you, and then it resumes moving forward again. That's your place. Don't lose your place. It's so easy to do, losing your place. You just wander away. Just wander away for a little while, and someone is sure to say, I'm awfully sorry, but you've lost your place. I'm the line captain. The rest of the members of the line and I have voted you out. You've been gone for more than 20 seconds without a reasonable excuse. You, my good chappie, are out of line. Oh, no. Now, not only have you lost your place, but you're also out of line. Double trouble, gang. Don't let it happen to you. Know your place and keep your place. That's what your parents said to you, wasn't it? Know your place. Know your place. They weren't talking about social situations. They were talking about being on a goddamn line. Know your place and keep your place. If you must wander away, have someone watch your place. People are good about that. People will watch your place. In fact, that's the main obligation of being a member of a line. The sacred duty to watch another line member's place when properly asked. Hello, pardon me, how do you do? I wonder if you would watch my place, please. I'm going to wander away. I'll only be gone a short time, and this is my place. I would so love it if you would watch it for me. Would you be kind enough? Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. And say, don't forget who I am now. Look at my face. You'll have to recognize me upon my return. This is a distinguishing characteristic you can use. You know what that is? It's a mole. My mother says it's a beauty mark. But I know it's a mole. I'll be right back. Thank you very much. I'm going to tell him about our arrangement because in case you die, I want a backup. Hello there. Pardon me. He's going to watch my place. Okay? I'm going to wander away. I'll be back, but this is my place and he's watching it. Now, here are the rules while I'm gone. While I'm gone, you may move up and temporarily occupy my place. But when I return, you must move back and relinquish my place to me because, after all, it is my place. If he wanders away, you have to watch two places. Thank you very much. I so appreciate that. By the way, he understands everything perfectly, but keep an eye on him. I don't like his looks at all. Okay, now look at this. Two places now. Soon a chain of places. I'll call them McPlaces. Time to expand my empire. Pardon me. Will you watch my place, please? I'm going to wander way over there. I'll only be gone a short time if you... What's that? Well, he's watching that place. Well, he can only watch one place at a time. Let's not worry about him. Pay attention to this place here, please. Thank you very much. Now, don't forget, you'll have to recognize me while I'm gone. You know what this is? It's a beauty mark. My mother was right. That asshole thinks it's a mole. I'll be right back. Thank you very much. Oh, hot shit, look at this. Oh, boy. 3 places now. Soon, coast-to-coast places. I'll have places all over the place. But I'd better get back to my original place and consolidate my holdings. Back on line. My place in line. You ever notice the line you're on isn't moving? I never get on a good moving line, a well-moving line. Do you? My line is always stuck. The other lines are moving beautifully. Is this a subjective illusion, or are we always getting on the wrong goddamn line all of our lives? I think we're always getting on the wrong goddamn line all of our lives. My line is never moving. Look at that line moving along smartly, isn't it? You can actually see the people picking up their feet and putting them down. That's how fast they're moving. You can see little speed lines coming off their clothing as if they were in a cartoon. Look at that line. The woman in the red hat is already up to the window. She came in a half an hour after I did. If I were on that line, I'd already be home watching the lifestyles of the rich and famous on TV. Well, this is when you might lose something else, folks. You might lose your nerve and jump to the other seemingly faster line. Don't do it. You're sorely tempted, aren't you? Oh, if I get on that line, I'll be out of here. You're sorely tempted. Don't go over there, friends. You know what'll happen. You jump over here, and this line goes... And your new line closes down for the season. This line closed until doomsday. And you can't go back over there. You know what they'll say? Bullshit, you took a chance. Thank you. That's all there is on that, I'm afraid. That's all I got for you. If you're going to be lost, you better be found. Those things go together, lost and found. We know that. Nature insists on things in pairs. Up, down, left, right, north, south, black, white, male, female. Lost and found. You have to have lost and found, especially if you're going to open your own lost and found department. You have to have both kinds of items. You have to have some things that were lost and some things that were found, so that people will have a choice when they come up to the window. Don't you always think of lost and found as a real place, kind of a department, an honest-to-God place with its own employees and everything? I mean, it sounds that way on the phone. You call up and you say, "Pardon me, did anyone turn in a fife?" They'll say to you, "Well, you'll have to check with the lost and found department." And immediately I picture a place with a window and a lady and a nameplate there, Olive Strong, waiting for people. Perhaps a sign above the window that says lost, an electric sign maybe. Lost, found, lost and found, lost, found, lost and found, lost, found, lost and found, lost, found, with an electric arrow going and shiny bright showcases in the back with all the lost items displayed nicely for people to see. But it's never like that, is it? It's never like that. You go to the lost and found department, first of all, it's in some other goddamn place like sales or marketing or some shit. And you go in and you say, "Lost and found?" They say, "Yes, in the drawer here." That's all it ever is. It's one drawer in a lady's desk. The double drawer on the left, the file drawer. Here's a woman they don't even trust with files. She's got our stuff. I say, "May I look in there?" "Well, that's the idea." "Okay, thank you. Perhaps I'll find my item. Let me see. Oh, unusual things. There's a top hat with a big hole in it. And a half pair of earmuffs. 2 monocles welded together. There's a scarf with the map of Barbados on it. And an old skate key. That's all you have, eh?" "Yes." "Oh. Well, none of it's mine. But could I have the scarf with the map of Barbados on it? I like that." You might as well get something for your trouble. Take something and make believe it's yours. You know what would be fun? Going to lost... Yeah, that's funny. I like that. Yes, that's mine. That key, all of these things are mine. Where did you find these things? I had every one of these with me yesterday. Well, I certainly want to thank you for helping me out. That would be a lot of fun. You know, it would be great if you were psychic. You could really clean up. If you could see things without seeing them, you could go to Lost and Found and just make a fortune, describing all the unusual things. You say, "Pardon me, is this Lost and Found?" "Yes." "Oh, excuse me. Do you have a pink plastic Jean Autry wallet with a picture of a bear jacking off? Well, by God, he hit it right on the nose.
Monopoly was what I wanted to mention. Playing Monopoly, 6 people can play, can't they? I believe 6 can play. There's only 4, so only 4 people can have a side to keep their cards under, you know. But 2 guys can be on the corners. Monopoly. There's a place that we've all spent a lot of time, you know. Very familiar. I wasn't so good at it. I don't know about you. I didn't play that well. I'd have a couple of railroads anyway, you know. Not a complete asshole, you know. Snap up Baltic Avenue as soon as that became available. Shit, $60. Can't go wrong on that, mother. Let me have that one. We never got much farther. Oh, yeah. About the best thing I would own would be one piece of property in the light blue series. Oriental Avenue, perhaps. Nothing on it, of course. Maybe an excavation. It's about all I ever had on my property was plans. Surveyor's marks. All my friends had malls, condominium shopping centers, industrial parks. Oh boy, Carlin, you're coming down my side now. Oh, big one. Hot shit at 12. Right past that asshole. Yeah. Don't worry, you'll be around again, man. Yeah, but you can't move your token until you remember which goddamn one did you have. Hey, what is that? What am I? Am I the car? Are you the car? No, you're the car. Okay, what are you? About battleship? I'm the battleship every game. Okay. Funny ones they had. How the hell did the shoe get in there, man? The guy must have got drunk the second night he was working on the game, you know? Let's put in a shoe, man. Goes with that. I always used to ask for the overcoat just to piss off the banker, you know? There is no overcoat. The worst token to have was that goddamn cannon. It was the only one that kept falling over, you know? It's the only top-heavy token. You throw the dice anywhere near it and... Pick it up. Hey, are you the cannon? Pick it up, would you please? Pick it up. And you, are you in jail or just visiting? Well, put the car on the outside if you're just visiting. Some guys cared. That's why they won, man. I never won. I kept landing on chance. Trying to buy it. Get in more fights trying to buy chance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Chance. Little man with a hat. $200 for being an asshole. Shuffle them good. That's the second time I got that one. So, well, I didn't win, but I was always in at the end of the game. Because I had all the $1 bills. Yeah, 1,500 in singles, and they needed me to make change for their shitty deals.
All right, now, before you get the idea that I'm a strictly negative person, I don't want you to go away thinking that. I have some positive suggestions to make for some new sports. Some sports that we don't have. Some sports that, in fact, are missing. Where is college auto racing? You never see that. High school auto racing, they have it, but it's not organized, is it? I'd like to see mud surfing for places like Bakersfield where you don't have a goddamn ocean. Turn the garden hairs on, get in there and fucking mud surf. How about high-speed competition skipping? Might be dangerous, you wouldn't want to do that at night. Here's a nice sport for the idle rich, airplane fishing. You'd have to have a lot of line, but who knows, it might be a whole lot of fun. Here's an exciting sport, indoor hunting. You don't know where the other guy is. He might be behind the couch. You got to take a piss at 2 in the morning. Look out, holy shit. Here's a winter sport you might enjoy, the 33-man bobsled. Well, it would give everyone a chance to participate. Here's a kind of a peaceful sport. Here's a peaceful sport, cross-country chess. Well, you're waiting for the other guy to think up his move? You take a fucking 60-mile hike. Okay, let's stick with the more violent impulses. I think that's more in keeping with the national character. We need some more violent sports. How about team wrestling with knives? Bowling with hand grenades. Tackle golf. While he's lining up his shot, you tackle the motherfucker. Full contact archery. Oh, fuck. How about, here's a violent sport, 5-man team boxing with crowbars. Each round, 27 minutes. Why don't we have the choking matches? You never see that. Fuck all these gloves and shit. Get in there and choke some cocksucker to death. That would be fun. Well, all right, maybe the psychologists might say that we should channel some of this violent energy into more pleasant pastimes. How about some sexual sports? We don't have any. You ever think about that? There are no sexual sports. Well, we had broad jumping for a while until the feminists found out what the fuck was going on. But I'd like to see the oral sex relay races, wouldn't you? I'd sure tune in the foreplay playoffs. I think there are some sports that would be just more exciting in the nude. How about nude ski jumping? Whoa! Nude fencing? Look out! Whoa! Even nude baseball might be fun. Although I wouldn't want to see a guy with 3 balls on him, would you? Here's a sexual sport that's real big these days at Venice Beach. Roller fucking. 2-man mixed roller fucking. How about tag team masturbation? One guy gets tired, another guy runs in the ring and relieves him, huh? Australian dick wrestling. Well, we have arm wrestling. What's wrong with dick wrestling? And call it Australian so that ESPN will run it all night and never explain the rules to anybody. Does that piss you off? God. I'm telling you, that ESPN will not explain the rules to Australian football. And how do they score that game? 1 minute it's 43-29, next minute it's 116-88. What happened? The guy on the scoreboard had a fucking stroke. And why does the referee wear a trench coat? This is one of the great unanswered sports questions of all times. And so to wrap up my thoughts, remember, get high on sports, not drugs. But if there are no sports in your immediate area, fuck it, go ahead and get high on drugs. Yay!
The nuts will fuck up a good piece of cake every time, too, I'll tell you. If you're not expecting them. If you have nuts on your mind, fine. But if you got a clear nut channel and you're not thinking nut, you don't want some cake slipping a nut in on you. You got a piece of cake that you assume to be nut-free, and you're chewing your ass off. A nice piece of chocolate cake. You got most of it on the left cheek, because that's where you chew good, and you don't get the electric signals from the chocolate to your brain on the bad teeth you have on the other side. Chewing that chocolate real good, nice and soft, good soft, nice consistency. Now the frosting is starting to blend with the cake part, and it's all one good big gooey mess in your mouth, but it's smooth as hell. It breaks up and it comes back together, and you're chewing like crazy, and here comes a nut. Here comes a nut that you have to deal with. Either you have to chew it at the moment or put it in the ashtray. I usually put it in the ashtray along with my toenail clippings. Don't you keep your stuff like that? Don't you keep parts? You never know, folks, when we're going to need parts. I do. You know, an old callus, I hang on to it, man. Skin from last summer's sunburn, yeah. Keep it in the top drawer. Hey, I just want to know where it is, you know what I mean? Somebody says, got any skin from last summer? Top drawer, right here. Yeah, anything comes out of me, I'm curious about. I'm going to save it for at least a half an hour. Till it dries out, you know? Whatever it is. Ah, Sure, your fingernails get so you can't bend them anymore after a day or two, you know. All the water goes out of them and you go, wow, holy Christ. Can't believe that was my fingernail. But it was. I want to tell you how much I love peas. I know I don't want to say I love peas. You know, you just say you say I love this. You know, boy, I really love baseball. You know, hey. You like baseball. I fucking love peas, man. I mean, I really care for peas a great deal, man. Peas. All I am saying is give peas a chance. I love goddamn peas. You know how much I love peas? I love them so much that sometimes I have only peas for an entire goddamn meal. What are you having for supper, Daddy? Peas. That's it? That's it. 3 cans of goddamn peas. That's how you know you're grown up. When you insist on 3 cans of peas and nobody gives you any shit. So I must be an adult now. Goddamn peas, I like them peas a whole lot. Just love them, man. I love asking for them. They're fun to ask for. Peas, please. There's no other food like that. I like most kinds of peas. I like the frozen ones, too. I'm not prejudiced. A lot of people don't like frozen peas. A lot of people are down on frozen peas. Some people hate frozen peas. You hear the shit in the aisle. You hear going through the frozen food aisle. You hear the people gather around. Look at them fucking frozen peas, man. I hate that cocksucker. That shit down. Look at that shit. I don't even involve myself in that. I wheel right past. Down at the Stouffer's section. I park in the Stouffer's section and then wander back. Pick up a little of the gossip on the peas. They don't like those frozen peas. People are very mad at frozen peas, and I feel the reason is because they have a lot of little dents in them. They are awfully dented. If you look at those frozen peas, lots and lots of little dents. They're all sucked in, folks. They look like they're holding their breath, you know, but think of it. Think how cold they are. Those suckers are cold, Jim. They're freezing their asses off, those peas. You'd be sucked in, too, if you were like them frozen. You got to give them credit. Look, they may be sucked in and be full of dents, but God bless them, they stayed bright green, didn't they? How about that, huh? Through the whole freezing ordeal, they retained their bright green color. Not like those quitter peas in the cans. Not like those peas that gave up. Canned peas, they look a little used, don't they? I feel sorry for them, too. I don't know what they've been through. God knows what they do to them in that canning process. Must be something done to their little pea minds when make them change color like that, all of them. Must be unspeakable, whatever it is. They probably show them pea atrocity films. Yes, I like, well, you know what I like about the canned peas have something else going for them. The label is so full of information. On canned peas, first of all, it says green peas. That's just in case you're about to fuck up and bring home red ones by mistake. Which ones we have last time, honey? The green ones? Well, let's get them again. They were rather good. Also on that can, it says early June peas. Hey, I'll bet you they're sticking some late May peas in the can. You know what I mean? Get out of here. I don't even know if early June is a good time for peas. Peas might suck in early June. I'm from the city. They wouldn't tell me, man. Sell him that June shit. He'll eat that. I'm probably looking for mid-November peas, and I don't even know. Something else on the label that catches my eye. It says fancy peas. Well, I already do, or I wouldn't be in the pea section, you know. But it says fancy peas. And then sometimes it says extra fancy. Well, I can't resist that. I bring them home. Goddamn, open them up. They're just plain green. You know, I mean, if they might have had little Donald Ducks on them or something like that, now that would be a fancy pea. I'll tell you what I really love the most about peas is you get so goddamn many of them, man. God, you get a lot of peas. I'll bet you get more peas than almost anything else you could order. Except for rice. You do get a little more rice than peas. It is smaller, you know. Corn is about the same as peas, I guess. But goddamn, you get lots of peas. I'll bet you get 106 to 118 peas in an order of peas in a good place. You get enough peas that you can throw 6 or 7 of them at people and still have plenty to eat. You can't do that with a potato, you know. You throw one potato and you blew a 30-year meal, man, right there. Also, they know who did it, the guy with no potato. Hey. Yeah. And you know the way I prove that theory to myself? It's easy, because we have pea shooters, but we don't have potato shooters, man.
So you know what I say? It's your body. Do what you want. You know, you want to make a hole in yourself? Go ahead. Fuck it, who's gonna care? Make a goddamn hole in yourself. Or get a tattoo. There's another thing you can do. Get a tattoo. That's a good idea. Get someone to draw a picture on you that'll never come off for the rest of your life. Not only will it never come off, it hurts to put it on, and you have to pay the man money. Boy, there's a lot of good reasons for getting tattooed. Nothing like waking up drunk with the Last Supper on your chest. Jeez, I don't remember that. Well, you're not gonna forget it now. Not your Last Supper, the Last Supper. Well, you might have a little of each, depending on how drunk you got. I figure, you know, 1 tattoo means you got a little drunk. 2 tattoos, well, you just want to be one of the guys. 3 tattoos, they were having a sale at the tattoo parlor. More than 3 tattoos, you're beginning to enjoy the needles. Some guys must enjoy the needles. They got tattoos all over their bodies. You ever seen a guy covered head to toe at the beach? Got a little bathing suit on, walks around, looks like a fucking mobile art gallery? Guy like that dies, you don't bury him, stick him in a museum somewhere. These guys are fun, and they're handy. Gives you something to read on the bus on the way to work in the morning. Oh, holy shit, look at that. I was going to get tattooed, but I decided against it. However, I had some good ideas. I was going to get something different, you know. I wanted to get something a little different. I was going to get dotted lines tattooed wherever I bend. With little instructions, place tab A in slot A, do not glue. I was also going to get all of my internal organs tattooed on the outside of my body. In case I get a beginner at my autopsy, he'll know exactly what to do. Here's a good one for you guys. Get your nipples done as radio dials. Volume, tuning. And the hair in the middle, that can be a speaker. Or if you want stereo, whoa. Here's a good one for the guys. Right here you get tattooed. In case of emergency, pull handle. How about a bumper sticker? If you can read this, kiss my ass. Okay, you know what the most popular tattoo is of all times? Mom. Yeah, isn't that something? More guys, you see that on every guy. More guys have mom tattooed. Not too many guys get pop. You don't see that much. You know why? I think it's because you can't read pop in the mirror. Mom comes out mom in the mirror. Pop comes out 909. What the fuck does that mean? If you want to get mom tattooed and save a little money, just get 2 letters done. You put an M on each cheek and then bend over and say, Mom! Hiya, Mom! How are you, Mom? Then you go out with your girlfriend, go to a motel, and put your legs up in the air and say, wow. Well, these are only suggestions. You don't have to actually go out and get this done. Many people right after the show run to the tattoo parlor and say, well, he said we had to get tattooed. No. It's up to you. You have free will. Have about 6 or 7 vodkas first.
Well, tell you what. Now, to balance the scale, I'd like to talk about some things that bring us together. Things that point out our similarities instead of our differences. Because that's all you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. You know, anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality. Anything you can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs. So, stirring up the shit is something I like to do from time to time, but I also like to know that I can come back to these little things we have in common, little universal moments that we share separately, the things that make us the same. They're so small we hardly ever talk about them. Do you ever look at your watch and then you don't know what time it is? And you have to look again, and you still don't know the time. So you look a third time, and somebody says, "What time is it?" You say, "I don't know." Do you ever notice how sometimes all day Wednesday, you keep thinking it's Thursday? And it happens over and over all day long. And then the next day, you're all right again. Do you ever find yourself standing in one of the rooms in your house and you can't remember why you went in there? And two words float across your mind: Alzheimer's disease. You ever been talking to yourself and somebody comes in the room and you have to make believe you were singing? And you hope to God the other person really believes there's a song called "What Does She Think I Am?" Some kind of putz? Little experiences we've all had. You ever been sitting in a railroad train in a station and there's another train sitting right next to you and one of them starts to move and you can't tell which one it is? How about when you're out on a small boat on a windy day? You ever been out rocking back and forth for 3 or 4 hours trying to keep your balance? Rough seas, little boat. Then you get back into the shore and you're standing on the dock and you can swear there was something inside of you that was still out there rocking. Did you ever try to pick up a suitcase you thought was full, but it wasn't? And you go, "Doo?" And for just a split second, you feel really strong. How about when you're looking through a chain link fence? Do you ever notice if you're just the right distance from a chain link fence, sometimes it seems to go, "What is that? How do they do that?" Do you ever try to tell somebody they have a little bit of dirt on their face? You can never get them to rub the right spot, can you? Say, "You got a little bit of dirt right here." They always go, "Where? Here?" And you just want to slap the bastard. Do you ever notice how awful your face looks in a mirror in a restroom that has fluorescent lights? Every cut, scrape, scratch, scar, scab, bruise, boil, bump, pimple, zit, wart, welt, and abscess you've had since birth all seem to come back at the same time. And all you can think of is, "I gotta get the fuck out of here!" Do you ever notice sometimes when you're walking with your arm around your date, one of you has to change the way you're walking? Men and women don't walk the same. One of them has to change. Either the man has to walk like this, or the woman has to walk like this. "Joey, how are you?" How about when you're going up a flight of stairs and you think there's one more step? And you go... And then you have to kind of keep doing that, you know? So people will think it's something you do all the time. I do this all the time. It's the third stage of syphilis. Same thing happens when you're going down the stairs. You could swear there was one more step. Holy shit. My hips are in my chest. When you drink grapefruit juice in the morning, do you go like this? I do too. Why do we drink it? It's like ice cream throat. You know when you've been eating ice cream too fast and you get that frozen spot in the back of your throat, but you can't do anything about it because you can't reach it to rub it? You just have to kind of wait for it to go away. And it does. Then what do? Eat more ice cream. What are we, fucking stupid? Did you ever fall asleep on a late afternoon and wake up after dark and you don't know what goddamn day it is? Like when you have your head on the pillow. Do you ever notice when you have your head on the pillow, if you close the bottom eye, the pillow is down there. Then if you switch eyes, the pillow moves up there. Whoa, holy shit, Dave, look at this. The mystery of the moving pillow. I think it's related to the chain link fence mystery myself. Do you ever have to sneeze while you're taking a piss? It's frightening, isn't it? It's frightening because actually you can't do it. It's physically impossible to sneeze while pissing. Your brain won't let it happen. Your brain says, stop pissing! We're going to sneeze now! Because your brain knows you might blow your asshole out. Thank you.